Hey everybody, just wanted to put a little video out there to update everyone on what's going on and how things are going to look for us moving forward. At least in my classes in Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Earth Science, and Physics. Each one do have their own individual differences in how things will look. Obviously my math classes and my science classes will look different in what we're going to be doing and things that we're able to do during these e-learning days. So I will update each individual class separately on Google Classroom, just if there are certain things that we'll be doing with those sections and that stuff kind of on an individual basis. But this video is just a kind of a broad explanation on what things will look like and how things are being handled in my classes with these e-learning days. So hopefully everyone is doing well. You get to spend some time with your family, and hopefully that's good for everybody. And for those who are struggling with it a little bit, just keep reminding ourselves on why we're doing this. And we have to, and the unfortunate truth is everyone has to, regardless of whether you think or could battle your way through this COVID-19 coronavirus. But it's our responsibility to make sure that we're doing our part to keeping everyone safe for those who, couldn't make their way through it or haven't, unfortunately, been able to make the battle all the way through. So it's an unfortunate situation that we're dealing with, and it's completely less than ideal, both academically and just kind of as a society, but it's something that we're currently having to deal with, and so we're going to do the best we can. So in my classes, what this will look like, and I guess I'll kind of back up even further, not what this is going to look like moving forward, but just kind of reiterating stuff from last week, because I know there's some confusion on whether stuff has to get made up or not, because last week we have stuff, you guys, if you're a student watching this, or your students, if you're a parent or guardian watching this, have material from me for 10 days worth of e-learning days, is what we called them originally. So that's the 5 days before spring break last week, and then these next 5 days starting tomorrow, Monday the 30th, through the end of the week. So that packet that you received from me in all 4 of my classes have 10 days worth of stuff. And in those different packets, I have labeled on there which day you should be working on that worksheet, that set of notes, that gizmo, that activity, whatever it might have been. And I also posted that information on Google Classroom, but you have that information already. You have those packets, you have those worksheets. Anything that was expected of you was either given to you or has been provided on Google Classroom. The only exception to that would be those in my math classes. There were a couple of homework assignments, and again, those were described to you. They're written in those notes. It's just at the end of them. So the stuff from last week, because Governor Pritzker declared, starting I think it was Tuesday the 17th through Monday the 30th, so through tomorrow, Act of God days is what the kind of key phrase is. And what that means is that it is something that's completely out of anyone's control why we don't have school. So those days don't need to be made up at the end of the school year. And the days cannot go kind of hurt your grade. So I can't require you to do those assignments and dock you points for it. What I can do, however, that is still allowed, and I'm still going to be doing, those who have been sending me stuff and those who choose to do those assignments and send them to me, I can still award you points for doing them. It's just that those that choose not to for those days are not going to get zeros. They would just either be left blank or be marked as excused from those assignments. So it's not going to hurt your grade by not doing them, but it's going to help your grade for those that choose to. Because for a regular homework assignment, a 3 out of 3 or a 10 out of 10, depending on what class you're doing the homework assignment for, those will definitely be a benefit to you moving forward throughout the rest of the quarter, because that is going to be one of the first couple of grades in quarter 4 for most of the classes. So having those in there as 100% will make it better for you, or make it easier for you moving forward, because this is very uncertain times. We don't know If this will go past the date that is already set, I think it's April 7th is what at least our governor has decided through. April 7th are still going to be closed. We don't know at all. We don't either. Staff doesn't know. Nobody knows. Even, administration isn't sure if this is will be extended past where we are. It's all still a very fluid situation. So it's definitely in your benefit, not only grade-wise to get that information, but for those sets of notes that we covered last week, for depending on which class you're in, anywhere from 2 to 3 different sets of notes, new information, that those skills and those tools and those topics will still be assessed moving forward. Now, I still haven't even figured out how that's going to look for some of my classes, how we're going to do quizzes or tests. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around how to do those, especially in my math classes. Those that are in earth science and physics, you guys know that we're capable of doing quizzes and tests through Google Classroom because we have in the past. It's really just trying to figure out how I'm going to do those math quizzes and tests and what that'll look like. But more updates on that later and based on the individual classes. But like I was saying, that information is still going to be needed. So for Algebra 1, those first 3 sections in Chapter 8 will still be necessary moving forward. For Algebra 2, 8.2, 3, and 4 are still going to be, 8.2 and 8.3 are still going to be necessary moving forward. So even if you don't go through and do the homework for the points, I still need you, or it's still going to be beneficial for you to go back and watch those instructional videos and go through those sets of notes that I provided for you on Google Classroom just to get that information absorbed. Again, all of that stuff is on Google Classroom. For the select few of you who had indicated to me when I talked to you guys, not last week, but the week before, when we were still in school, had indicated to me that you didn't either have any internet at home or reliable internet at home. I still will continue trying to reach out to those people who I know that is the case for and provide more stuff for you moving forward. But for those who told that to me ahead of time, you also have information from me, notes key pack, the key for the notes packets and all of that stuff. So you should be able to at least a low level of understanding. Unfortunately, right now, you still be able to get that information as well. So moving forward, kind of after we're out of these Act of God days, is what they're calling them, we are still going to be continuing with our e-learning days. And again, these next 5 days of e-learning, so starting tomorrow on Monday, you have, again, those 5 days of activities, 5 different sets of homeworks, practice sheets, puzzle times, gizmos, virtual labs, kind of web quests. Depending on what class you're in, you've got stuff from me already to do. After that, look for more stuff to be sent out from me. If you know that, again, you're one of those people who don't have reliable internet at home, that you could do stuff, do the normal stuff of watching videos or looking at PDFs and downloading those things, then just please reach out to me. Don't hesitate to ask. I know I don't have great internet at home. Frontier is kind of not Frontier. Yeah, Frontier is shaky at best. So I completely understand, and just, again, reach out and ask for that help. Same thing I recommend all the time when you're struggling with, a concept in math or in my science classes. If you're struggling with a specific assignment, just ask. I am still here and available for you as much as I can be and as much as I am, allowed to do right now. I still want to, help you guys understand this stuff as best as possible. Kind of going off of that, something I do want to do moving forward, especially if we're going to be extending beyond what the plan is right now through the 8th. I do want to try and set up some times for kind of like virtual meetups where we could use either Google Meet, Zoom meeting is another possible, or a popular one, kind of like a Skype, where we could either schedule it for just one-on-one help if you're struggling with something in particular, or we can even set it up as a whole class thing where, again, we can either do it by class period or just the class itself. I can have all of my Algebra 1 kids, all you guys log in at one time. We'll go through and kind of have like a little, teaching session like a regular class would meet. That way you're still getting that interaction with me. You're able to ask me questions, in real time, just like if we were in the classroom. It's just that we're all doing it from our couches, desks, or kitchen tables, or wherever we're at. So be on the lookout for that. And again, if you're someone who has been struggling with it and the stuff that I've provided for you just hasn't been enough, please reach out to me. Don't hesitate to ask. A lot of you have been doing that, and I appreciate that, and I am so glad that there are still those of you out there kind of putting in the work right away and asking questions. Please keep doing that. Please reach out. Again, you've got plenty of different ways of getting a hold of me. I'm very flexible and get stuff right to my phone, so even if I'm away from my computer at the moment, I'm pretty quick to see that you need an update and can get back to you, whether that's through regular email, if you message me through Google Classroom, or if you send me a message using Remind. Again, I'm going to get back to you within a couple of minutes, 10, 15 minutes tops, really, once we're back in the swing of things, and can get that information to you as best as I can. So moving forward, now that we're past those Act of God days, all of that is like our regular, how I would usually grade is how it's going to be graded. So for those homework assignments in my math classes, it's going to be 3 points, and the stuff that's assigned for those days need to be completed, checked in with me, all of that stuff in order to get the credit for those days. And so then past the Act of God days, if you are choosing not to do the homework, just like in school, if you choose not to get the homework, you're in a 0. If you choose to do it and you make an attempt at it and you fill it out and you send me a picture of it, or you scan it and email it to me, whatever the case may be, however you need to get that to me, I'm plenty of options on it. And if something is, if that's the barrier between getting the information to me and not getting the information to me, reach out to me and I'll figure out a different way that we can get that situation handled, whether that's dropping it off at school and then I pick it up sometime. Those are all different options that we, if we need to cross that bridge, then, once we get to it, then we'll worry about it. But that's really all the information I have right now. I wish I had more to share, and I wish there was more information that I knew that, you didn't, but that really is it. As much as you know about the situation, I'm in the same thing. I'm getting updates when the district sends out emails to everybody or sends out the letter. You can see it's addressed to D19 staff and students. So I'm getting those updates in the same time as you are. So as soon as I know more and as soon as I have any updates for you, I will be sending those out later on today. So it's, again, for me right now, it's Sunday the 29th. Later on today, I'm going to work on getting everything posted on Google Classroom for next week. I'm going to do it the same way as I did for the week before spring break. So I'm just going to post everything for the week all at once. So for those of you who like to work ahead, that's fine. For those who just want to take it one day at a time, I'm going to have it labeled on there. Here's for Monday, 3:30. This is what you should be working on. Here are the sets of notes. Here is the answer key for the homework, for the notes. Here is an instructional video that kind of goes along with what we're working on. The nice thing is, for this week, for my math classes, there's only one more set of notes. So if you didn't do stuff before spring break, you have some time to catch up on that and kind of get that information covered as well, and start getting those worksheets for those who haven't sent stuff to me caught up, so you start getting those points built up. Because again, we don't know how long this is going to last. Hopefully it's not a lot longer. It's looking like it's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better, just kind of, health-wise and the whole pandemic side of things. So here's the hoping that curve gets flattened and we get to be back to a little bit of normalcy sooner rather than later. So hopefully everything is going well for you. Again, if you're struggling with anything, whether it be academic, in my class, in general, just with dealing with stuff, and you need someone to talk to, you guys know I'm always here. I'm always available. If you need someone to talk to about anything, please just reach out and let me know. We'll figure something out. If I can't get you the help, I'll get the right people on the job, and we'll get it all figured out. So hoping everyone is doing well, and that I do get to see you sometime soon, whether that's through a screen or in person. Have a good day.